Oh my goodness. It is Tuesday already, 8 p.m. I could have sworn that I just ended the last show, but obviously not. And the weeks are flying. Um and while I got you here, everyone, I just want to remind you that Me Fest is coming up. We are less than 2 weeks away, August 24th. It's going to be an amazing, amazing event. So please go to mefest.org, get your donation optional tickets. You can put zero, you can put $1, you can put $5. Either way, you're invited, and Me Fest is actually going to happen. Bigger, better, more fabulous space, indoor, outdoor, no more on the green, no more burning up. You can go inside of a building, and most important for me, no more porta potties. But either way, let's get back to the show. This is in black. Welcome everyone. This is where we talk about topics in blackety black, 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 black. And I'm excited to be here. I am your host, Peirrce or Peach, whatever you choose to call me. I am the founder and president of I Am Me Inc. If you need to chat it up with me or you want to get in touch, it's Peirrce at imecorp.org. So, as usual, every Tuesday, I tell y'all everything shared here are the thoughts and views of our panel, not necessarily of IME Inc., the nonprofit, or the board members. So, tonight's topic, I think, is a little bit fun. I think it's going to be fun. I don't know about the panel. It's having each other's backs and why Black queer support is everything. As I'm about to bring my panel on, I need you guys to like and share this broadcast. It's going to be awesome. As usual, my panel goes in deep with the questions. Um, I'm excited that we made it to another Tuesday. Everybody's safe and happy and healthy. How is the panel doing? How are y'all tonight?
Good.
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 Doing
Good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Doing good. Doing well.
Okay. How do y'all feel about this topic? It's an easy one, right? Lightweight.
Yeah, much needed one.
Oh Lord. Well, y'all go.
Mm.
Oh my God. It's not that. It's not that bad. All right. So if this your first time watching the show, where I am is the hot seat. I ask the question, and then the panelists come up to the hot seat and they answer. And then in the end, we all come on the screen and we ask each other questions that we possibly are unclear on, or we just, nosy and we want to know the answer, right? Because
Right.
this is family and this is what we do here
Right.
Yep.
in black. So, the first question for our topic: what are the specific challenges Black queer people face that make internal support so vital? I'm going to put Tim in a hot seat. Tim always has so much to say, and it's all good all the time. All right, Tim, what is your
First and foremost, uh, discrimination and rejection. That those are two things that really cripple because they're kind of branded and bred into our community. Not all of us, experience those things, but a majority of us experience those things. I think all of us have experienced some type of discrimination or degradation between the workplace and our families, just because of lack of knowledge or hate through religious beliefs. So those two things stand directly out in the forefront in my experiences. Um, I've had complete situations change once they found out my preference on jobs. I've had opportunities for promotions disappear because they found out my preference on jobs. And I'm a very old school professional, meaning I don't bring my personal into work and vice versa. So I don't get extremely familiar with my coworkers, not while I'm working with them at least. So yeah, I would say those two things stand out in the forefront. Out of all the things that we do endure, those two things are the things that affect us the most.
Thank you, Tim. I'm going to put Donna in a hot seat.
Yeah, so you're saying the specific challenges that Black queer people face that make internal support so vital, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like Tim was saying, yes, it's well, as far as like being Black and queer, that's like two strikes already. Um yeah, it's bullying, it's racism, it's like you said, rejection, from family, sometimes friends. Friends can turn their back on you. They until they find out that what you are. Before they knew what you were, they were all lovey dovey. Now, when they find out you are in the LGBT community, then they want to turn their back on you. So we as queer community or the LGBT community, we need to help each other. We need to stick together. We need not to fight because we have so much craziness within our community that we can't even be a whole to even help each other because we always fighting amongst each other. So I think it's more so um, a lot of like these programs, like how we doing with the IME to bring awareness to knowledge and for people to understand that we need support, even from our allies. We need support, and that it's hard when you don't have that support. But as far as like when you get older and when you grow up, you your own person. When you're younger and you're a teenager and you're coming out, it's harder and you need that support. Like me, I don't care. I'm not saying I don't need it. I'm already out there, been out there almost like 40 years, and I'm comfortable. So I don't need that, and I'm retired, so I don't have to worry about a job. I don't have to worry about if I don't want to be around people. I don't have to be. I'll stay home. But yeah, you just need that support, and we need to, as in the community, we need to be more better because we're very messy in the community. I'll keep saying our community is we're our own enemies. So we need to like get together.
Thank you, Donna. Kalani, up in the hot seat.
I think, like it's been stated already, we face discrimination, a lot of rejection, especially in family, and in work and community. But if I may, just tell somebody that rejection is not an indication that something is wrong with you.
Hmm.
It's just, the reality, the sobering reality that the individual that's rejecting you does not have the capacity for your greatness. So you have to understand that community is one thing, but believing in yourself is another. And sometimes community helps with you helping you to believe in yourself. So I think that community is very important, especially when you're coming out, as Donna said, and you're new to the game. You got to have somebody supporting you, some type of support. And I think that's what a lot of the young people kind of miss these days is the support like we had coming out.
Thank you, Kalani. All right, Stan, you're up.
I guess everybody pretty much covered everything about it. I only thing I can really add to it is that, and I think Kalani kind of said it too. Is you have to have confidence in yourself as well, and you you know you we I think sometimes we look for support, and then sometimes we don't get it. We get upset, or we have attitude about it, or we think we get this negative thing about community. But it's like anything else in life, it's you everybody's not going to be supportive. You can go, you can even in the whole gay community now. Nobody. You have some. It's like any group of people. You're going to have people that don't like you because they just don't like you. They don't like you. They don't like the way you look. You know. Um, I had somebody come to me one time, and we friends now, but they told me something like, Stan, I didn't like you for a long time, and I was like, why? He's like, I don't know. He said, I just didn't want to like you, you know. So, um, so these are things. But like I said, if you don't get the support, these, especially nowadays, you have to kind of be having some thick skin with things. The world is a lot crueler now than it used to be. So, you got to start kind of figuring out things, yourself, how to deal with things. I mean, I that's the best way I can put it. One thing I'm glad I just never depended on anybody to, as far as validating me, even growing up, and and I just had it in me. I was always in tune with myself, So I didn't. Because one thing about family, they'll disappoint you more than anybody, and they'll hurt you more than anybody. Um, so I just kind of took it as as it as things came, and even to this day, can't nobody make or break my day, Um, so and get people trying to crush you and all that kind of stuff, but we need to start depending on ourselves and having, like Kalani said, it's all in you having confidence in you, and not waiting for people to validate you, you know. So that's pretty much okay.
Thank you, Stan. Is Vonda on here? I thought I saw her come in.
Am I not on there?
I do not see you on. Oh, you got to put your camera on.
I don't. Is that me crackling?
Uh, I, well, I don't know about crackling. It sounded like you was moving something, but I don't see you on camera.
All right, I'll go out and come back in.
Okay. So while we're waiting on Vonda to go back and come in, I'm going to answer the question myself. The unique challenges that struck me when I wrote the question, I immediately thought about um, employment and homelessness. Those are the challenges that Black people face, period. And I think it's worse when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, the LGBTQIA plus community. Um, Shelters don't normally accept us in. And when it comes to a space where you are living authentically and you go for employment, it's very hard. So I think why it's, you know, exceptionally vital for us to support one another. If you are a business owner or if you own a home, we need to start looking out for one another and say, okay, I own this home. Here's a space that I can house a young or any black queer person that doesn't have shelter. I own a business. This is my opportunity to offer, maybe not all of them, but a percentage of those jobs to someone within my community. I think in those ways, you know, that is vital. I agree with everyone on the panel when you said yes, self acceptance and everything. But no matter how much you love yourself, it's just some things we can't control. We can't force anyone to hire us. We can't force anybody to give us somewhere to live. And of course, if you're a homeowner, you got to have income to get a home. You got to have income to start a business, you know. So I think in the necessary ways we can help each other. Vonda is here. Let me get her in a hot seat.
Kind of that noise is driving me crazy. It's squealing and like staticky. It's driving me. It's gone now.
The question is, what are the specific challenges Black queer people face that make internal support so vital?
Being judged, definitely being judged by not only your peers, your family, people you hold to a higher degree. You really find out how they feel when different situations, you know, come up. So it's very vital for me to find good allies and even getting judged from those who are already in the community. You know, I've gone through that. People who are lesbian judging me because of how I feel and not respecting the way that I feel and what my values are. So it's important to have that support. And sometimes it does. That person don't even look like you.
Thank you, Smack. So, the next question, and I thank all of y'all for being transparent. And why am I keep getting pushed out of the hot seat? There we go. Um, why is it important that Black queer people affirm and show up for each other? Why is it important? Why is it important for us to affirm, no matter how high your self esteem is, and show up for each other? I'm going to put Kalani in a hot seat because I know she has the answer. Why is it important, Kalani?
I think it's important because there's strength in numbers. Just simple as that. I think that when you stand alone and you stand by yourself, we as humans sometimes we get it mixed up because we think that we can do it alone. I came here by myself. I can do it by myself. But I think that there's power in unity, and there's power in believing the same thing, staying in the same way. Not necessarily doing everything the same, but having somebody that understands where you are. So I think it's strength in numbers. I think we can get a lot accomplished when we're together. So I think that's important.
Thank you, Kalani. Hey, Maxine. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to put Tim in the hot seat. Tim, why is it important that we affirm and show up for each other?
It's important that we affirm and show up for each other because we're currently living in a climate where our lives are at risk of being outlawed. Our marriages are on the verge of being overturned. Our freedoms and rights are being taken away and reversed. I think those are all legitimate reasons why, um, if there's any, if there was ever any time where it was urgent for us to stick together, if it was necessary for us to kind of erase the lines of division in the community and just stand as a people. You know, everybody is got their own flag and representing their own group. But before we divided off into all these subdivisions, we stood as a people, as a whole, as an entirety. And our community, to be effective and to be as mighty as possible, we have to stick together. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Strength in numbers, as Kaylani said, is the most of importance right now for us as a people. And it amazes me that as all these things are going on around us, so many people are still living like everything is okay, like we're not in danger. And I think that's crazy. I really think that's crazy.
I agree.
So that's my answer.
Thank you, Tim. Vonda,
Hmm.
you up next. Do you need the question again?
Yes, please.
Why is it important that Black queer people affirm and show up for each other?
Mm. That's yeah. Black queer people definitely need to show up, and the reason being is that, and I hate to say this, but there are other organizations who are not funneling back into the Black queer people. Okay, and like Kalani said, and I'm going back to my training days. People power is your superpower. We're gonna do more if we show up 50 at Legislative Hall than coming in there with two. They ain't gonna take us seriously. And it's time for Black queer people to set aside what differences you have with other
Right.
identities within our community and come together because we're being attacked, not just for being in the community, but also for being Black. So I need you to, I need y'all to hear me, my Black queer people that are out there, not all of y'all, but most of y'all, stop sharing everybody's video of us fighting and let's solve some solutions that where we need to come together. I feel like you're putting your energy where it doesn't need to be. You need to be putting your energy because tomorrow we could be extinct or the next day. I'm just saying. When are we going to get real about this? Are you waiting for it to happen? You can't wait until the last minute to decide I want to do something about it. That's not strategic at all.
That's too late.
And then my thing is okay, we got some Black people who sit on a higher paradigm. I mean, on a higher level because they make more money and don't care about those that are down here. But those that are down here are getting attacked the most, but they got sense and they the ones that don't mind asking for help. But we can't be so up here not wanting to help our people. And I'm gonna leave it there because I get passionate.
Thank you, Vonda. Maxine, let's put you in the hot seat.
Yes.
All right. So, why is it important for the Black queer community to affirm and show up for each other?
Well, I mean, I know we say in the black community because nobody else got our back like we do. And in the black community, it's like she was just saying, I'm just gonna go back on something she said. We'll stand out there and make videos and send stupid videos around and nobody support, like for instance, who's going to support I am right now but the community that's in it? You understand? So if a black person comes out and they start a business, we ain't got nobody supporting them. And then when you gay, that even makes it worse because gay is not really recognized the way it should be. So to be gay and black doubles the problem. I mean, like, I just totally agree with her 100% because Yeah, I've been through it. That's why I'm really saying it. I don't want to really go back to the past. Like I've been on the streets since I was 13 in the village, and it was a bad thing for us gay people out there getting bashed and all like beat with bats and all that, and we had no community that was helping us back then. Now we stand together. So right now we should all stand together.
Thank you, Maxine.
You're welcome.
Oh, Tim has something to say.
You know, I wanted to add something, and I heard it in two different people's answers. The black community, the black LGBTQIA community, will support everybody else's business except for a gay black business. Or the gay black businesses that they do support, they bring so much bullshit and drama that those places end up getting shut down. Those are two things that have to stop in our community. We got to stop complaining about everything that we don't have, and then when somebody puts something there for us, then we don't support it. But we'll go across the street and spend all our money at the YT clubs. We'll go around the corner and spend all our money at the YT clubs. I'm sorry, I just wanted to add that before I forgot, because you know I'm old.
Tim, bye. Oh God, come on, Stan.
Well, I mean, it's important because if you are if you're a gay business, and if you get the support from your community, then you can grow, you can start employing other people, start training people things. You know, it's mentality. You know, and even in my business, I don't depend. You know, there's a couple of reasons why with things with the community. It's a lot of times it's envy. Um, a lot of times people, you know, it's sometimes people have hidden envy in them because they hate to see that you put the energy into what you do that they wish they had the energy to do, and they have problems like that. It's something my dad used to say. You know, you do today what others won't, so you can enjoy tomorrow like others can't. You know, and so when you put in the work to do things, um, you know, like I said, the community, we don't get the support. Just like when you look in the neighborhoods, you know, for every one of those Arab stores in the neighborhood, at one time was a black store there, you know, but we ran the black store out. You know, when we come to doing business with each other, we always want to get the deals from each other, you know, and then if they can't get the certain deals from you, but they won't get it from the white businesses. And then one of the things I hate with people is that you go to a business that will discriminate against you, and you'll sit back and fight like hell to fight the discrimination because somebody don't want to take your money, and you're going to fight them to take your money. You know, I just find that ridiculous. You know, if I go to a place and I get discriminated against, I'm not going to go sue them. You know, I'm not going to sue them to take my money. So, you know, these are just some of them. We just got a mentality. Like I said, it's even with what I do with my business. You know, I can. A lot of the community doesn't support me, and you know they'd rather spend their money on lesser quality. But sometimes that's just our mentality, and you know, I had an uncle who had a landscaping business, and he was very successful. And you know what he did? Whenever he would go and do do an estimation on somebody's yard, he would never drive his Mercedes, or he'd be out and he had to go get this old raggedy truck. And I asked him, I say, why do you have to, drive the raggedy truck? I say, I would just be, you're a landscaper, and so when, you to me, that's showing success. Like, oh God, he got to be doing good. He's got to be good at what he do. He said it don't work that way. He said, because as soon as I go to somebody black's house, they think they paying for that Mercedes. I won't get that business. When I go to a white person's house, they see success with that. And they're like, that's impressive. You see, so we got this mentality with things that we discriminate against each other. So yeah, it's important that we affirm and show up for each other. You know, just like the I Am Me Fest. You know, people need to show up for that. You know, that way, because then if you don't do it next year, they're gonna say, what happened? You didn't get the support. And then what you're doing can help other people, the vendors and people like that. We have to show up for each other and because that helps us. We can also employ other people, help us grow, and then people can learn. It's like but we just don't. Even as black people, we just don't have that. And like I said, when you're in that neighborhood, for every Arab store in your neighborhood that sells you bad food, bad meat, bad attitude, one time there was a black person there. But you're not going to do that to the Arab. That's what you would do to a black. You'll rather see a black go out of business and then accept the attitude of an Arab or a foreigner or Asian. And that's why people sit back talking about all these Africans and all because we were here first, but we ran each other out of the business. We do it to ourselves. If I had to depend on the LGBTQ community for my business, there's no way. And there was a time I marketed myself to the community, and I just don't do it no more because it's not, I just don't market that way. And I just, I'm doing a lot better. I would go and people want to sit and they like one girl asked me one time. I was at an event and she asked me about some kind of face stuff, and I said it was $15. Oh shit! Oh hell no, it's too high. But yet you'll go spend 50 at Mac, stuff like that. But like I said, I don't get caught up in all that no more. I used to kind of be in my feelings a little bit, but I just say, you know what? I'm gonna still support the community, but and those that support me, fine. But it's just the attitude we got to get with each other. Because I tell you, if we stuck together and did things, it's power and money. It's just power. The power. If you use those numbers, and we all put that into each other, we'll be. Just same thing with black people. If we all stuck together and did things, but we just don't. So that's just it. But that don't mean give up. And I don't give up on community at all. Not at all. But I'll be out there on the 24th to support. So yeah.
Thank you, Stan. Donna, you are up next.
Oh, thank you. Okay, you said affirm to show up and show out for each other. I say if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for us. But again, like I said, I'm always say the black community is messy, the LGBT community is messy. I don't care. I'm ruffle feathers. I don't care. This is my feelings. And in the black community, we're never going to prosper. We're never going to get ahead. In the LGBT community, we're probably never going to get ahead because we're always bickering with each other. We want to try to get together, but it's not. I have no faith. I'm sorry, I don't have no faith. We will never ever get together and be one, because we all, if it's not the people hating transgender people hating bisexual women, people hating stud on stud, people hating femme on femme, it's like it's always something So we would never, just like the Black community, we would never prosper. In the LGBT community, we would never prosper. Sorry.
Thank you, Donna. Kalani, was you in the hot seat yet?
Yes.
She was. Oh, it looks like she wanted to
To the
say
business
something.
part. I'll wait till we get to the business part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll wait.
All right. All right. So I guess it's left up to me to answer.
Maxine has something to say.
Oh, Maxine, you got something else to say?
Like I agree with you what you're saying is going on, but that's where we make the stand at. If we can start a change, then we can make it better. Once they see us all getting together and changing, it can probably have them do the same. So this is a good step. We start the change and bring it to everybody else. Because once they see us growing, that's how stuff happens. You grow, you make it better for everybody else. So it might change, D, and you might be the one that changes the group.
I bet you $50 million.
Don't
fifty
do that.
million dollars.
Don't do that because stuff can change.
I bet you $50 million that I'm telling you it will never get better.
Let's
I
let's let's
gotta
put the faith in
disagree.
God.
I gotta
Been in
disagree
this for
because
60 something years, almost about 50 something years, and it's still the same. Nothing has changed. Nothing has got
But
better.
no one tried. No one
Yeah,
tried to change it.
I know,
Now,
but
now
we could
we're
try all we
trying to
want,
make a
but it
change.
takes a lot of. It takes more than just us. It takes more
Exactly.
than just us.
That's
But
true.
I get
That's what
you,
I was
Maxine.
saying too.
I get you,
Yeah.
Maxine. Yeah, but I'm sorry, it's never gonna change. It's not gonna get no better.
Go ahead,
different. I
Smack.
feel like it will change. Change has to start with wanting to change, and we got to get out of our old ways. That's number one. And I got to give IME credit because y'all started the neighborhood talks, the allies. I love that. The education. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like everybody in our community is going to change, but when it comes to the Black community, certain situations going to happen that they got no other choice but to change and unite. You know what I'm saying? A lot of history has been lost. There's a lot of people who don't even understand the history or know the history behind Black queer. You feel what I'm saying? So I do think it'll change. But like Maxine said, it starts somewhere. Are we going to get everybody? No. But you gain that momentum, you're going to have a lot more people. And the way these young people are, they jump on bandwagons. You feel what I'm saying? On what's trending and what's going on. But it's got to start somewhere, and we have to change our mindset. But I do believe in it. I believe in building relationships. If I could build relationships with heterosexual people, and I'm LGBTQ to get bills passed, I know we could do it as a Black queer culture.
I
I
bet you
believe.
$10 million.
I believe.
Smack.
Thank y'all. Y'all, let me get Dre in on this. Dre,
What's up?
welcome. You done popped up. So the question is, this is this has been a long question. Everybody's in their fields with this one. What
Oh
is
Lord.
it? Why is it important that Black queer people affirm and show up for each other?
Um, hmm. I think it's important because, in my eyes, and I only speak for me, I feel like we always have this perception that we don't get support, and we have this thing of I don't get support from my family, I don't get support from my friends, I don't get support from this person or that person, but then we don't support each other. It's always some foolishness behind the scenes. Somebody's catty, somebody's jealous, somebody feels some type of way, somebody's manipulative. If they see you in a successful relationship, they feel some type of way about that because they are bitter and by themselves, and so they're going to try to break up the relationship because they're mad because you got something they don't have. If they wanted you at one point in time and they see that you got somebody who's really doing right by you, they'll try to break that up. I feel that we have to understand, like, be happy for me, like cheer for me like I cheer for you, and if that's something that's just hard for you to do, then stay bitter, broken, and by yourself.
Thank you, Dre. Oh my God, this question has been one. I didn't think this one would be the one where everybody will react, but I'm gonna go ahead on the answer. And I loved everything everyone said, but I understand where Donna is coming from, but I don't agree with her. I think it took 400 years for us to get this way, and it may take us 200 to change. But as long as we're having these conversations, eventually I do think it will be a turnaround for us. As far as why is it important that we affirm ourselves? Because when we don't, we seek it from other people, especially the white community. And we know how that goes. We will affirm you as long as we can get something in return from you, a piece of your culture, a piece of probably your humanity, that piece that helped me destroy your culture, a piece that'll help me enhance mine. So that's why we need to start. And even I have to be better at this, affirming the Black queer community. I believe if we can do it, we'll be an excellent mold for the Black community as a whole if they see us doing it because we such underdogs. Um, and what else I wanted to say with this and showing up for each other. I love what Stan said about I and me and other Black orgs. I noticed that we suffer. We suffer because we want to stay authentic. We want to be here for the Black community. We want that representation, but we don't get the support. And I'm unsure what that is. I can only assume, again, it goes back to hating ourselves because we're not affirming ourselves. Um, I myself have walked through plenty of doors that is unknown to the people here in Delaware. And I have stood in spaces and stood up for you as a Black person. And when I look around in these battles, I'm by myself, but I don't mind standing there. And that was until I met Vonda. But a lot of it I did alone. Um, Most of us are Delawareans here, with the exception of Maxine. We have this, what is it, a committee? There are no Black faces on it. When it was time to stand and alert the community, I am like the voice box. When I lose it, that's when it seems like everybody figures everything out. Um, and sometimes it gets lonely because after I do all of that, after I voice, after I stand, after I go in these spaces, after I have these conversations, and then I say, okay, I'm going to create a space for my people because I don't like how you treat us. And then when I have my stuff, I don't see you behind me. I don't see you showing up at these spaces, but I see you at the spaces where I had to kick and scream and yell for you to be there. A lot of the opportunities that you have, you don't realize is because I was in that space screaming. I see y'all on stages, yes, and I am happy that you're there, but I had to scream and kick and fight. And I'm sure you're not even getting the correct funding or funds to be there, the payments. So that is why it's important for us to affirm and be there. We have to, and I don't want to sound like a separatist, but I guess it does. I believe we need to segregate and build together, strengthen ourselves. That way we can sit at tables and we can have real conversations. And we do have the numbers. And you don't have no choice but to respect us because when you don't, our dollar goes with us. And that is, my perspective. I saw Tim wanted to say something.
Um, as somebody that worked in two industries, I was a bouncer in the clubs for 13 years, and I've been an entertainer in the club for 32 years. So I've seen the clientele, the black clientele that comes into these black clubs is so disrespectful. And it's like they don't want to spend money. They want a discount on everything. It's like, how do black businesses grow when we as people trying to get a shortcut or connect on everything when it comes down to a black business? We need to thrive just like every other, our businesses need to thrive just like every other businesses. When you go to the Caucasian and the Asian businesses and spend money, you don't ask for a discount. You pay what those people ask you to. Also, the most disrespectful and unruly crowds in these clubs. And I'm a black man. I'm sitting here black as shit. But the hardest crowd to work with that wants to spend the least amount of money and look for a handout or a shortcut is always our people.
Because they ain't
We
got no damn home trainer.
But I mean, if these businesses are going to grow, I mean, because if we supported our businesses the same way that we support white businesses, we would have our own everything. Do you understand?
Yep, I get it.
It's all these black businesses and all these black designers in Philadelphia that are creating awesome stuff, and black people won't buy it because they would rather go out and purchase the white labels of these and these companies have told them. Ralph Lauren has told them. Donna Karen has told them. Balenciaga has told them our things were not made with colored people in mind.
So you know why they're that way, right?
So
Because
we
of
will
the
go.
famous black people that wear that mess. So the person, if they want more black people to wear their, I'm just saying, if they're designers, get some of these main black people who are out here. I mean, if they, and stop worrying about why black people aren't supporting you, go and find your supporters. You may have to invest in someone famous wearing your shit. I'm just keeping it real. And
I
then
mean,
black
but
people will catch on.
artists at the bottom can't afford to do that, Vonda. They can't afford to go out and get Michael Jordan or LeBron James or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not going to change. They got to invest into the business and take it where it is and find the
that's
people that will
exactly
buy
what
their
I'm
stuff.
saying.
If
That's
you can't
exactly what I'm
afford
saying.
marketing and you're selling $500 clothes, something is not right. I'm sorry. And you got to check on your marketing. Go find your people. I'm sorry, bro. You got to go find your people. And that's with any business. Find your people, as Ella J. Baker said. Find your people. Because, like Donna said, we're not going to get people to change overnight for a thought that they've been doing for 400 plus years. It may take 200 years for somebody to catch on. And this is just how our black people are. They'll go and purchase it somewhere else, not complain about the price because they're a chain or whatever. But
That's
when
what
it comes to us small businesses, they want to give us the hardest of the time. Those people
that's
you
what
got
I
to
just
stay
said.
away from. You got to stay away from them because they ain't going to spend. You can't keep saying, why won't you spend with me? Man, go find your people. I'm keeping it real.
Right.
Ooh,
While we
this post
wasting
is
energy, we could be putting
but
it somewhere else.
Kalani has something to say.
I was gonna wait until we got to the business part, but I gotta say it right now. Because I hear a lot of talk about that we'll go support Caucasians and we'll do this I have to say this, and I hope the black business owners can hear me when I say this. Read my lips. A lot of times when I went to support black businesses, no excellence. Things were thrown together, and it was just like, oh, hey, you're black, you just like us. I mean, just take it like that. A lot of them lack excellence. A lot of them lack customer service. And know people gonna get mad. It's okay, but it's the truth. If we're going to contend with other businesses from other different races and different people, and we want to sell to the black community, you need to have your stuff at a certain level. Like when you're doing business, do business. Do business. Be professional about your business. Don't just come in there slinging us anything, and just because we're black, we're just supposed to take it. And we're just supposed to support you. No, do it in excellence. Be on time when you're supposed to be doing business. Because we have no sense of time. We do what we want. We handle business the way we want to, and then just tell people to take it. No, no. We're gonna go over there and spend our money because they're doing it in excellence. When they say they open it at 9, they open at 8:58, not 11 o'clock. People's not doing hair in the back. They're not trying to sell me stuff with their shoes off. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. Black
Or a hot
businesses, we
dog
gotta
that
come
stayed
up.
on the shirt, or a hot
We
dog
gotta
staying
come
on
up.
the clothes.
We definitely got to come up because we cut a lot of corners, and then what people don't know why people don't want to support us, and it's because the level of excellence. Well, we know we can do better. And I'm not saying that's every black business, but a lot of them that I've been to, even people doing food, like it's amazing. It's amazing to me how the health people can come in and shut you down like that. Like, come on, like we gotta have our stuff together. If you're gonna do a business, you need to make sure all your ducks are in a row. You need to take some business classes. You need to make sure you know everything that you need to know about that business so that you can be successful and not just doing it to say that you have a business. I'm done, but I had
A
to say
black
it.
business, not just a business, but a black business. They think
Right.
because they put that on the front, that all black people supposed to run. I'm sorry. Presentation is everything. Someone tried to
It
sell me a
really is.
t-shirt, and I don't know if it was hot dog juice or what was on the stains on the shirt. And you just because, oh, come on, support a black business. I'm not giving you $30 for no t-shirt, and it look like it got hot dog stains on it. Come on, make it make sense.
All right, y'all. I think we need to go to the next question because this one got y'all riled up. I wasn't expecting this one to be it. I wasn't expecting this.
I'm just listening.
But just I love everybody's perspective, but I think
Right.
sometimes, I kind of side with Tim. I think Tim was trying to get something out. Um, but I'm going to give my opinion based off everything I just heard. I think we have to be mindful. I know we're black, we all feel like we got the same experience, but not all of us have grown. Some of us haven't had the opportunity to be around the people that you were exposed to, that taught you how to be excellent, that affirmed you, that had gave you possibly the opportunity to get education. Some people are just pulling it together by off just pulling, what is it, putting their boots on the ground and coming out and starting something. And that little hot dog juice probably got on there by mistake as they were rushing because they needed that money to pay for something, to get something, to pay a bill, to eat, to live. Um, so just kind of have some type of grace, affirm. If you don't buy the product,
Hold up, Peirrce.
wait a
Nah,
minute,
the
let me
second
finish.
t-shirt
Let
came
me
with hot
finish.
dog juice.
If you don't buy the product, that is a opportunity to say to that person, I love what you're doing, but the reason why I didn't buy this is because of this. And I'm unsure if anybody told you. But if you want to level up presentation, is everything. Sometimes, and that's in the space of affirming, because sometimes some of us just don't know.
Peirrce,
And
can
I
I ask
had
a
to learn
question?
that.
Can I ask a
Yes.
question though? There was a statement made that black people always want a handout, and we want this and we want that, and give me a deal on this. They don't want us doing that to them. So why would you not present your business in excellence so that we can buy it at full price? You understand what I'm saying? It can't be both ways. It's either it's going to be in excellence, and we're going to have the grace for it. That if it's not okay, we give you grace, or you're going to have the grace for us saying, "Hey, I need a deal on this."
Well, I agree with you. And that's why I said that's a perfect opportunity to affirm them into the gracefulness. If you
Hmm.
go there, this is we have to, we look to white people because we believe they have the answers. A lot of people, right?
Right.
So if we start affirming each other, then we have the answers to help ourselves. And maybe we'll start to look to each other. So in the space of going to a business and you think they aren't up to par, that's the moment where you pull that person to the side and affirm them. I love what you're doing, but check this out. Try this. This might work. And even if they don't accept what you're saying because they're stubborn, at least you said it. And one thing about black people, we don't like to be told or shown, but we go home and we think about what you said. Oh, trust and believe. And we may not come to that same corner where you saw us. We may think about what you say, change up the script, and go to a new corner and start over. So I
Mm.
think we need to practice, all of us, even myself, affirming ourselves into grace.
Mm. I could get with that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll try.
We should.
I still
Otherwise, we're going to
try.
go to other people.
But some people can't take criticism, businesses.
That ain't your problem.
And okay, so I'm blunt. You know I am. I'm like, yo, man,
Yeah.
I thought juice on that. Bring me another one. The other
No,
one come on hot dog
it's
juice.
the way that you say it. You gotta affirming a great tone, especially all of us. I know y'all hate to admit it. I hate to admit it. I'm older. Hell, we are the elders. We go. We are the ones. We are the voices. So we should be saying it. Grandma in the house. It's time. We the aunties. Y'all don't want to face it. We the aunties and the uncles. So the next question, and I know I thought this question was gonna go all over the place, but the second one did. But this is the one I thought was gonna go all over the place. Describe a moment when you wished a black queer family member had shown up for you. What did their absence teach you? I'm going to start off with Dre.
Truthfully, I haven't experienced that. The friends that I have, that I call my family, that are in the community, are always right by my side. I have never had a moment where any of my friends in the community have not shown up. We stand 10 toes down for each other. You will find us attached to each other's hips and backs.
Okay, Dre. I need your friends' phone numbers. Tell you in the hot seat.
Could you repeat the question?
The question is, describe a moment when you wished a black queer family member had shown up for you. What did their absence teach you?
I have okay, I got family members watching, so I have a relative. I can't say exactly what their relation to me is because that would put them out on Front Street. But I have a relative that is in a lifestyle as well, and he thinks he's in the closet. Even the little kids know. But that's neither here nor there. Everything that I experienced, my uncle experienced 20 years before me, but hasn't been a part of my life. He knows about me, I know about him, but he hides everything. So we can't have a relationship because he's afraid for me to know. Even now, I'm a 50-year-old man, and he doesn't want me to know anything that he does, and doesn't want me to know anything about anybody he talks about. And that was just odd to me because when me and this man is in the same room, if he were to walk in the room, you would say, Tim, that's your dad. Tim's dad is here. Like, I'm the splitting image of him when we have so much in common, but he chose to not have anything to do with me as far as the lifestyle is concerned. So that would definitely be my answer.
Wow. All right. I'm going to put Kalani in the hot seat.
I think that I'm kind of like Dre. I never really had no one not show up for me. I'm usually the one that shows up for everybody else. Like, you should probably ask them. When did I ever leave them?
All right, Vonda, you in the hot seat.
I had a situation like that. Um,
I'm back.
I really had a situation like that. I mean, and if I have, maybe you could give me some trigger words because I got chemo brain right now. I don't remember because I just do my thing. If I invite you and you don't come, that's on you. Don't ask me how it went. That's just how I am. I don't know. I guess the commitment ceremony can ask you after that. I guess I can ask you after the commitment ceremony and let you know because my family, immediate, are you talking about like our blood family?
No, the queer community.
Oh, okay.
Queer family
Yeah.
members.
Yeah. When people ain't showed up, I like pushed them to the side and you wonder how I got to where I am. Okay. I thought you talking about like, my immediate family, my bloodline. But yeah, friends, I got two best friends and that's it. And they always show up for me. One does not live around here, but if knowing that I'm doing something or had some type of, they're there to support. They may not can't be there, but they send in that support before the event happens, or when they find out of the accolades, they're sending me texts and even messenger. They're showing that love. So I can only go off of like, my best friend in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Always has been there. We don't, we check in. That's just how it is. And I, that's why I'm the way that I'm in. I'm in my own world. And y'all may not see that because Peirrce to tell you, I intermingle with everybody. I'm in my own world. And if I invite you to something that's important to me and I hold you to a different caliber, a higher caliber, and you don't come to something that's very important to me, I know not to ask you again and I just move on. I'm just different. I'm in my own world. Whether you come or not, I'm still going to do me. I'm smack. I'm a smack. I'm a smack.
Thank you, Smack. All right, Stan.
I really can't think of no situations that I've ever been in like that. Um, I can't think of any.
Okay.
Yeah, I really.
Y'all got some fabulous friends, I'll tell you.
Stan showing y'all legs tonight. Stan is showing y'all legs tonight. Go ahead, Stan. My God.
I can't tell. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me get Donna in the hot seat.
Can you repeat the question? It's with the queer family, right? Like not
Yes.
like blood family. Well, I back in my 20s, I used to be in. I had a family, a gay family, because I used to be in a house and I used to walk balls. Um, but that was in my 20s. But I don't. Nah, I don't really have anybody like that now because I don't keep in touch with them. That was like way back in my 20s, and but other than that, no, I can't even think of anything as far as when it comes to that. Nothing,
Okay.
not a
Look at
thing.
all y'all. Wow. Look at all of y'all friends. Maxie.
So this is the easiest question. I have no gay friends with two. And my two gay friends I had all my life, and we tighter than tight. We we there for each other. And Donna's one of them.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
you
my
know,
friend
Max,
Terry.
you know, yeah, you are too.
Yeah, like all my other friends are straight. Like I really have no gay friends, and it's sad. Like it's just us three. Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I guess I'm the only one that's kind of affected by this. When I think of this question, I think about us as a collective, not necessarily as a personal friend. And I believe that everything I do pertaining to the community, I go in with the spirit of Donna, the spirit of Vonda, the spirit of Maxine Kalani, and I go into these spaces and I'm trying to curate a vibe that's high level for us and also enjoyable. And when I don't receive the turnout, or if I'm doing a panel or it's something educational or even this show, I get disappointed when I don't see my people there. And, that absence speaks volumes for me because I know everything that I'm doing, we need. And I'm doing it specifically for you because I can easily be like Donna. I could be traveling, I could be doing, I could be hanging out
Chris
with Chris
Brown.
Brown, and yeah. But instead, when I can't get exactly, the monetary portions from you, I seek assistance within my family, my staff, my team. They seek assistance from their family, and it's all coming from a space of love and wanting, in remembrance of a LGBTQ person that they lost. And so everybody's coming together so that we can have space for you. And then we look back and we're like, well, where these motherfuckers at? Where y'all at? So maybe it's a translation issue with it. I don't know, but that's where I feel like, damn, they're not seeing us. They're not seeing me. Where are you? I need you. I need you here. So that's my moment. So we're gonna get into the chosen family portion of it. Please, God, let us keep it together for this. Let's keep it together for this. Because the second question had y'all going, and I wasn't expecting. I thought we was gonna be in chosen family, but I think we gonna get stuck here. All right. So the chosen family question: how does systemic racism and queer phobia make chosen family a survival tool? Y'all need me to repeat the question?
So, yes.
How does systematic racism and queer phobia make chosen family a survival tool? And I need the brilliant and fabulous Dre to start this off.
Woo, I knew you was going to call my name.
Yeah, thank God.
I think it's a survival tool because when everybody else fails, they can't fail. Um, my chosen family understands. A, if I call them, I'm calling for a reason. Um, but then B, they also we have learned that our connection goes beyond blood. My chosen family are my prayer partners. They are my motivators. They are my pushers. They are my Uh, if I have a vision, they push the vision completely. They know it's not an option to them. They are my accountability partners. If I don't understand something in the word, we dig deep till we all understand it. Um, we're not we don't just use the term brother or sister loosely. And being someone who grew up as an only child, I'm very protective and very particular about who I call a sibling. I don't just call somebody sis or bro because it's the end thing, because that bothers me. Because I tell people in a heartbeat, don't call me your brother. You can call me Dre. Um, so I'm very particular over them. I'm very fond of their ambitions. I'm very and so when my I don't want to go scripture, but it's this thing of the word says, when my mother and father forsake me, then you will lift me up. That's my chosen family. When I don't have none of my family support, I know I can call them, and they will be the ones who lift me up. There's another scripture I hold tight that says, and he'll be a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Those are my chosen family. They stick closer than a brother. They don't wait for me to be away from them for 3 and 4 weeks. If they don't hear from me in 2 days, they're calling me saying, okay, what's your problem? I haven't heard from you. Is everything okay? And then we ride together from there. So it's never, and I'm the same way with them. They would never be able to say they experienced a bad day by themselves, and they're the same way with me. So I believe that a chosen family is significant, and even with systematic everything, because I have a weird family. My blood family is weird. Um, so I have, you got some who just are out there and they don't understand the concept of, this person is in the LGBTQ lifestyle because they choose to be, based upon who the person is and how the person acts and how the person reacts to things. But my chosen family is the family that my whole family can fall, and I know I'll still be standing. And in the words of Tim, that's my answer.
Speaking of Tim, come on, philosopher Tim.
Baby, can you do me a favor? Can
Yes.
you save me for last so I can get my whole answer out?
Sure, Tim. We got to put
Thank
the
you.
philosopher back on the shelf for a
Yeah.
minute.
Put me last so
Vonda,
I can get it all out.
Vonda,
Yes, ma'am.
you ready to answer the question?
Repeat the question again.
How does systemic racism and queer phobia make chosen family a survival tool?
Mm. Well, systematic racism already limits where you can go, how we're treated, the queer phobia, all of that. There are certain places where we walk into, even though law says you got to service, they still find a way to make you feel uncomfortable and to get up out of there. You feel what I'm saying? Um, and queer phobia can really like cut us off from the very people who are supposed to love us unconditionally, which is like what Dre was saying, like our blood family. But there's just something about chosen family. You see what I'm saying? Chosen family, they're going to feed you, they're going to protect you, they're going to celebrate you without asking you to hide who you are. People ask why, some of my family asks why I don't go cookouts no more. When you got too many of the elders questioning, making sure you okay, and you trying to save it and not lay them out. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm me. You know what I'm saying? I'm very outspoken. And once you make me feel uncomfortable at my own family reunion, I'd rather not go than to lay you out and have everybody in my family coming at me. And that's how I am. Out of all the places I've ever been, years ago, many years ago, going to my family reunion, I felt like I was not comfortable. Real talk. Hope I answered your question.
You did. You answered it perfectly. Donna, hot seat.
Yes. Um, as far as like the systematic and the racism and my chosen family, just like Maxine, she's family to me. She's like cause she's younger than me, so she's like a young bro sister, whatever. And but my blood family, like my daughter and my grandsons and my daughter's husband and all that. My daughter, she loves me to death. She don't question nothing about my sexual preference or my orientation or who I am. My daughter loves me. We just like this. She come with her problems. I tell her about my problems, and we always talking. We're very close. She might get on my nerves, and we might not talk for a few days. But as far as like my life, she knows who I am, and she's been around all my girlfriends, and she's loved them and respect them. And like I said, Maxine, she's family. My other friend, Monroe, that lives out here, the one who told me to get a house here, she's like family. And I've known her from the military, and we're close too, and for like almost 40 years, and I've known her. So that's my family. And I also have a group of white people that I call my family. Sorry. And I hang out with them. We go bowling. We do music bingo. And when I tell you, they are the most loving people in the world.
Okay, Donna, go ahead. Got your little white friends. Don't invite nobody over.
I love
Ain't
them.
nothing wrong
Maxine.
with that. I love that.
Yes, I love them.
All right, Maxine, you in the hot seat.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the hot seat, the bad seat that Donna just pulled out. Because my chosen family is my best friends I got out here. It's only two of them, and then the bad thing is, well, actually it's three. And two out of them three is white. Like I said, I really don't have any friends that's in the community because I really don't be around them unless I can say my youngest brother. My youngest brother is in a life, and he went through a lot, like being bashed. And I taught him, you got to change it. Like, don't live for them, live for yourself. So, like, he's now like my best friend. Like, I sit there and support my youngest brother through thick and thin because the rest of my family don't. So I can say him, but besides that, like I said, it's just my wife friends and Donna. I keep a small circle. I do. I keep a small circle. I don't really go out to places unless I go with Donna. I keep my circle very small, you know, and that's me. I'm a more laid back, quiet person. I stay in my house with my wife and my kids, and I'm basically all about making my kids get to the next level and being somebody. So that's why I'm more quiet and nonchalant.
Okay, Maxine.
And just to
All
throw this
right.
in, I am is my family now. So just to let y'all know, that's why I always hop on because I like positive stuff in my life.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for inviting us into your circle.
Nah, of
I'm
course.
excited. I got me a new friend I could be calling on.
You can call me anytime. All right.
Kalani, were you in the hot seat? No, I see you sitting up there.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I had to look up systematic racism, and I'm smart. I had to look it up. Or systemic racism. Okay, yeah. So I think that as a survival tool with the chosen family, I think it acts as a safe space because it's not something that you gotta like you're like obligated to. It's something that you've chosen to be a part of. It's something that you've built. So as a survival tool, I think that they will be mad. Never mind. I as a survival tool,
Let it out.
no, because I think sometimes because we're gonna get to that part in a second, but I think sometimes it can be a safe space, and then sometimes it can reintroduce us to some things that you know that we were trying to come out of. So, as a survival tool, that's what we want to talk about first. As a survival tool, I think it's very important because you have the ability to build your safe space. And I like the fact that you can build it, and anybody that you don't want to be a part of that circle, you don't have to let them be just because of blood or whatever. So it's a safe space because it's your survival. Those are your people.
All right. Thank you, Kalani. Stan, come on up.
Hmm. Uh, I guess the best way. I mean, it's like with family, a chosen family. You know, it's. I guess it allows you a certain bit. You know, the ability to have a certain degree of confidence. Um, Knowing that you got some people that you can depend on. Um, and that's just anything from the racism to the homophobia. Um, just knowing that some people are there, and that's your survival right there. You know, um, you can question yourself sometime and get true answers. So that's about it.
Thank you, Stan. All right. The philosopher, are you ready?
Um, I'm gonna have to break it down into two different segments of my life. Now, my chosen family in Maryland was they helped lay the foundation for the type of person that I was, as far as the things that I was into, the things I was turned on by, the things I was turned off by, the things that I chose to accept and attach to. Is because back home I was well grounded. I had um, older gay people around me that were actually guiding me and explaining things to me and breaking things down for me as I was growing into the lifestyle. Um, and that was like the last genuine family that I actually had. Then when I moved to the city, my mother's oldest sister, the matriarch of our family, was lesbian. So until she passed away, I had her that I could sit down and I could talk to um, about my curiosities and my emotions and my feelings and things of that nature. She was my auntie, but at the same time, she was my best friend because I could sit down and I could talk to her about things that I couldn't talk to the average auntie about and get the responses I got because she's not speaking from empathy. She was speaking from also being gay. So I had a lot of structure up until my late 20s and early 30s. And then basically after that, I was on my own. And I've always had a tendency to gravitate towards the older crowd, the more mature crowd. Because even though like characteristic wise, I'm a goofball, but I've also been known to be a very mature person, very business oriented. So most of my friends, I'm 50. Most of my friends are in their late 50s, early to mid 60s. So the family that I had here, most of them they've either passed away or they're in nursing homes or they're homebound or they just don't have the energy and strength to get out to do things anymore. So I'm 50 years old trying to build a new family. And it's odd because I'm 50 years old, but everything is starting to be new because everything that I knew is passing away. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's my answer.
Thank you, philosopher Tim. So
You
I
my
guess it's
fault.
left up to me. Oh, so how does systemic racism and queer phobia make chosen family a survival tool? I believe chosen family, when you select them, you get to number one, pick a person or persons that can meet every intersectional piece of you, your life. And you get what you need. Just like Kalani said, they are your chosen family is your safe space. And they don't expose you to racism or queer phobia. Because unless you choose them to do that, but who would do that, right? Who would put themselves in that position? So when it comes to chosen family, I have to go back to me and Vonda. And this is going to make y'all laugh, right? Because Vonda was my friend and she was my chosen family when I started coming out fully. She was my friend, she was my confidant, she understood everything. For a moment there, and this is probably going to piss her off, I kind of looked at her like, oh, maybe she could be like an elder, or she, jumping me into the community, um like a little mentor or something. But then y'all see where that went, right? You see where this mentor went. So that's the importance of the chosen family. They just meet all your needs, and then when they don't, you part ways. It's not ugly. It's not really too judgmental, and you move on with that understanding. But yeah, chosen family to me is everything. Everything, because they get it. They get it.
In
I'm surprised.
defense,
I'm surprised Vonda ain't jump in and say something.
I'm trying to. In defense, when we met was during a time where I was taking my time. I wasn't, I was done with relationships, y'all, for real. I said, if somebody come along, and I prayed to God about this, I'm going to take my time with it and be their friend first. And that's what it was. I lied to y'all not. I'm just saying that in my defense. You know what I mean? And it was perfect. The whole image. But I had to make sure that what was sent to me, that was for me, was right. So look, 8 years later, beautiful, baby.
Vonda, you suck at being a mentor. That's all that means. Okay, so the next question, maybe this is going to be the one. Queer elders, Vonda. What does their guide does their why does their guidance matter? Are they just as essential as Big Mama? Queer elders. Dre, what you doing? You in the hot seat.
We're gonna stop throwing me up first. I mean, to me, I think they are essential. I mean, they're elders, number one. So we come to them for wisdom. Um, my biggest pet peeve is elders who don't realize they grown and they elders, and they still try to attach themselves to as if they still young. Like, baby, accept the fact that your ass is old. So if somebody is coming to you, they're coming to you because they need the guidance, they need the wisdom, they need the. I can't stand somebody who is not. You're an elder and you give no good advice, and you will watch somebody go through some things and you will suffer. Those to me are elders sent from the pit of hell because they don't. They're still stuck. Like, grow up. But I feel that they are essential because I was raised by elders. My grandfather and his sister raised me like completely. My great aunt and my grandfather were the milestones of my life, and everything they were, I am. And I don't say that as a negative thing. I was glad that I wasn't the 20 something that was out here crazy as hell, because I probably would have been going by now. If I was anything else that runs around Wilmington right now, I would have been going right now. So I was glad to have that foundation that I got from my family. And so even when I became a part of the lifestyle, um, it's crazy when I finally accepted the fact that I wanted to be in the lifestyle. I had a person that went to college with me, that was in the lifestyle, and at this time I was in my late 20s because it was about time for graduation. I had already lost my wife and my kids, and I came to that person, and she was like 60. I had two issues. One, you 60 in a college full of 20-something-year-olds, but then two, she inspired me because I'm like, you 60, but you still going for yours on all levels. You know, she was a widow. So she had just started dating again right before graduation. In the last conversation we had, she literally said, "Baby, let me tell you something. I'm gonna get everything that was meant for me to get." And she inspired me so much. So if I come to someone that is older than me and you can't give me advice, I'm going to shut the whole conversation down. I'm going to ask for your forgiveness in advance, and then I'm going to tell you where you need to be at in your life, because you older than me, and not by 10 years. You older than me by 20 or more. If I come to you for advice you can't give it, something happened in your life. You screwed up. So yeah, I feel like they're essential.
Thank you, Trey. Stan.
Yeah, yeah, they're essential. Um, 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 I mean, and if anybody came to me for advice, I would definitely give it to them. I kind of shy away these now. I would never offer advice if no one came to me for it. I wouldn't throw my opinion on anybody. Um, and that's only because sometimes the people that need the advice don't listen, and the ones that don't want it ask for it. So I'm gonna leave my answer at that.
Thank you, Stan. Kalani.
Um, I think they are essential as Big Mama, but I think they might be even more essential. And my reasoning for saying that is that they have the ability to reverse a lot of trauma. They have an opportunity to reshape an individual. And sometimes we drop the ball on that. Um, so yeah, I think their guidance matters. I think they need to be clear on their guidance, and I think they need to be well versed in knowledge about the community, life in general, because we have a deficit of true elders. Because I personally do not think that you should be calling somebody dad that you sleep with. How is that your dad and he didn't put anyway? How how is that mom and you? I don't I don't think anybody giving you parental guidance should be having sex with you. So that I'm gonna leave it there because we'll talk about that next question. But yeah.
Woo, that was loaded, and I agree with you. Donna. Oh man.
Wow. My mute. Oh, okay. I thought my mic was muted. Well, as being 63, I am considered an elder myself. And Dre, I am not old until I can't wipe my ass. I look good and I give good advice. I always give my daughter advice because when I tell you my daughter and her life, she comes to me for everything. And guess what? I'm dating a 31-year-old. And and I look good for my age, and I'm very knowledgeable. She even comes to me for advice and tell me how do I save money. She want to learn, and I take her to the gym and everything. So I am an elder, so I can't speak on other elders, but I am one, and I'm a young one. Age ain't nothing but a number. Thank you.
Go ahead, Donna. Vonda.
Yo, I love it, Donna. um, I don't feel as though I'm an elder, but my girlfriend always calls me an elder. I just want to put you out there, Peach. But I really look up to elders. And the reason for that is because the elders that I go to, some are in the community and some of them aren't. They live a life through when things were rough. You feel me? And they could share those stories. You know what I mean? And those strategies that kept them safe, kept them alive back then. You know, that's how I learned how to move through Salisbury from Boney and Bob, who were two gay people in my life, and they were much older than me. And I feel as though they're just as essential as Big Mama. And then the people I've met along the way that have shared stories that are in different areas than Delaware. You know what I'm saying? And just hearing their story, and here, you know, they're in their 70s and the other ones in their 80s, just hearing their stories of how they had to maneuver being a lesbian in New York, and the other one was in Texas. Very two different experiences, but sharing those stories help you. And then when I speak to my father as a civil rights activist, and you know, the things he had to go through, and even my grandmother, some of the stuff she shared with me being from, you know, Harpers Ferry, Virginia. Come on now. You know what I mean? The stories she shared with me helped groom me to who I am today. So it's not just you know, the queer side, you know, from, you know, it's also just being Black, period. And I feel like those elders, they're living, they're like a living, well, my grandmother's no longer here, but at that time they were living archives who are resilient and that were here to tell their story. And in some cases, some of it's in books. And that's how we grow. That's how it grooms us into the people that we are. As Dre said, you know, his grandfather, and I guess his grandfather's sister raised him. And he holds that to who he is. Same here, my grandmother, my mom, my dad, you know, they're my elders. They raised me. But when it comes to the LGBTQ side, there's Boney and then there's Bob and Tracy, who raised me to who I am, and they're much older than me. But that's how I learn, and that's how I'm able to walk in my truth with my head held high and fierce with it. They've already walked the path during a much rougher time. So any advice they could give me is just making me a stronger Black queer woman to be walking out in the streets, so that when things come that are not on the lines of what I like, you know what I mean? I told you how it was that day we was down there where you open up the clothing store, and I'm handing out flyers. You know, we're in a different part of Maryland, and they're like, they ain't never seen a Black gay woman. And it kind of, they're like, they didn't want to take the flyer I was giving them about my baby's store opening. Something they could benefit from. And that feeling, it hit me, but then I got over it because I think of what my elders before me went through, and I was able to hold my head high. And okay, they ain't got to take it. I don't want them to have my stuff no way. Let me go on to the next person. It bothered me for a moment. I had to come back and talk to my girl to get my mind right, but then I had to remember, you know, and think back on different things that my elders taught me so I could be who I am.
Thank you, Vonda. We're gonna put Maxine in a hot seat.
Hello. So I am an elder. I'm 57 in 2 months, and me and my girl been together 13 years, and we literally raised our kids from the age of 3 and 6. Now my kids is 18 and 15. So we taught them so much. So my thing about giving advice is like so positive because I spirit experience that I had. Like me growing up, I was 13 and the first female I dated, she was like 37. I didn't find that as I got older, I realized it wasn't a relationship, it was child molestation. Like, so I have a lot of knowledge of growing up and what's not to do and what not to do. And like I'm not gonna get in the hot seat because y'all got me too many times tonight. It's really hard to like think about a lot of stuff, but my knowledge is positive from what I went through. You know, growing through a child. I write music now, and even my song, I wrote a song about my life growing up. So for me to go to somebody younger than me, I'm gonna speak nothing but truth from what I've been through, and teach them the positive of life and what not to do. So that's where I leave it at right there. I had a real, not to say a bad childhood growing up. You know, I didn't have the positivity behind me, but I made it. I made it through that world. I wound up being a fire safety director, getting a good job and doing what I do. And as he said, I even opened up my own online dispensary and I did give up. I stopped doing it because the top owner happened to be, no disrespect, a white person that was just using us as guinea pigs. So I let the company go. You know, I'm not going to slave for somebody else when I can do it for myself. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Maxine. Tim, the philosopher.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Queer elders, why does their guidance matter? Are they just as essential as Big Mama?
They, in the circles that I ran in, they were our big mamas. Um, because they had the same knowledge that that Big Mama had. You know, they had been out there, they had experienced things, and the things that they experienced were a little tougher than the things that we had to experience because they had less rights and less protection. So, I mean, it kind of I kind of answered part of this in my last answer. If it hadn't been for, and it's crazy because the names that I want to name, Vonda has named half of them already. If those people hadn't been a part of my life, I don't know what direction I would have went coming into this lifestyle. I know for a fact I wouldn't have been ready. I wouldn't have been ready. So I think, yeah, as far as preparing our young LGBT kids for what they're going to have to navigate through and endure as a part of this lifestyle, yes, it's absolutely mandatory. It's absolutely a necessity, should I say? Mandatory is kind of not the word. Yeah, I don't think that part of the reason why the younger community is shaping out the way they're shaping out is because they don't have the same kind of structure that we had back in the day with our gay elders. Like they really treated us like we were their family, like we were their kids. So, you know, when I moved to the city and I saw a lot of the elder people sleeping with the kids and calling them their sons and daughters cover up the fact that they were sleeping with him, it just made me, it made me really, really sit back and be thankful from where I came from, and that the elders that I had around me were actually trying to guide us and not take advantage of us. And since then, I've tried to be the exact same thing to the young people around me that my elders were for me, because I know how hard it would have been to make it if I didn't have those elders in my corner in the beginning. If it was just me trying to make the decisions that I had to make without any guidance, I probably would have fucked it up like really bad. That's my answer.
Thank you, Tim. All right. So, oh, we breezed through that. So I guess I have to answer the question. Queer elders. I myself really didn't never have a queer elder, but it makes me reflect back to a time, and I grew up with a big mama, my grandmother. I had a neighborhood guy that, at the time I knew he was different than everybody else. And I saw him as my Uncle Calvin. And when I think about him, I think he knew who I was at the age of 12. And I guess the elder in him would come. And if he saw me on the porch, he would come sit on the porch with me. And I always tell this story when I go do a live stream and talk about family. He talked to me about LGBTQ plus things. He's the one that told me if you're gonna have anal sex, you need to use the douche, the faggot douche. He talked to me about how a woman
Wait, the
should
what?
keep herself. He said, so you gotta use the faggot douche because women want to put
Wow.
things in spaces and places, and how you got to keep it together, and don't let no woman run all over you. You're beautiful, you're wonderful. And he will always magically show up and sit on the porch with me until the day that he died. So when I think about a queer elder, I think about the man I call Uncle Calvin. um as far as Big Mama, I think the queer elders are more essential for queer children. I think Big Mama was great for their time, and the time that my Big Mama and probably most of y'all Big Mamas came out of is, when it came to us, it was either they were trying to hide us to protect us, or they were trying to put us back in the closet because it just wasn't conducive to anyone to be LGBTQ. You couldn't get jobs, you couldn't function in society. So it's like, go back in the closet, get you a beard, get you whatever you need to do to survive. Especially if you're a woman, you can't get property, you can't get a bank account. So no, go back in the closet, and you gotta wait maybe 40, 50 years. So Big Mama had her limitations. I do think the queer elder is more essential for us. So the next question, I see Kalani up there dying laughing. Why you laughing, Kalani? Why you laughing?
This faggot bitch got me screaming.
Right? Right?
Got me
Right?
screaming.
I was like, wait, what?
Like, what happened? He said, what?
Yes, he said you gotta get a fag douche.
I had to sit
What
up
is
on that
it? Did he show you what it was?
He told me, he said it's a Fleetwood enema. The fag, he said the fag you gotta get if you're gonna, girls gonna want to go back there too. It's not just for men, and you got to get your Fleetwood enema. It's a faggot douche, and you clean that thing out before and after.
It's you doing his accent and everything for me.
I love my Uncle Calvin. I loved him. He would have these in-depth conversations, and you don't do nothing you don't want to do, because they'll try you.
Yes, they will.
one.
Yes, they
Look,
will.
I am just, I'm just feeling real silly because it never crossed my mind that women like anal sex. It never crossed my mind. Never.
Look,
I feel
I
so
was
silly
young, like 14, 15. It never crossed my mind either. But Uncle Calvin felt like he needed to say
to let you
this
know,
to let
just
me
in
know.
case.
So I'm like, what? I'm thinking I'm hiding. And he like, no, just showing up. He would see me. Hey, it's Uncle Calvin. That's his line. And he would sit with me and just have the conversations. And they would be so wild that my grandmother, she would be sitting out there, my big mama, and they would start, she would just get up and walk away. I guess she said, you know what, this is not for me. This is for her. So, oh my God, the faggot dish really is making y'all crack up. I mean, y'all act like y'all never heard it before.
Well, it's a
I
part of my vocabulary
I
now.
haven't. I haven't.
I
It's
guess
a
that
part of
was
my
the slang in
vocabulary now.
Jersey.
Oh my God.
They ain't put no acronyms on the front of it.
Oh God. No, it's just the fag dish.
Right. You put an acronym on the front, a word I don't like to say, but
Well, I
I've
look,
heard it
my
without
uncle
that. That
told
must
me.
be a Jersey thing.
My uncle said you got to get the faggot dish. All right, let me move on to the next question. Oh, I know y'all gonna ask me about it in the end. So the next question. Oh God. How can chosen family function as a form of healing from generational or familiar trauma? I'm gonna go with Kalani first.
Peach, I know what you're doing. Um, I was gonna go after everybody, but I'm just gonna do it now. I have to go a different route with this. I'm gonna read the question again just to make sure I don't miss anything.
Okay.
As a form of healing from generational or financial. I'm gonna go a different route because I think that I have to speak for some of the young people that some of them have not been healed. Some of them have been re-traumatized in some cases. Um, so we got to deal with that first, especially if somebody has chosen you as a protector and chosen you to be in their life as a safe space. How do we become predators to people who are looking for us to help them? And sometimes your chosen family can become very predatory. That's why one of the reasons I said that about people calling somebody dad or calling somebody mom and you sleeping with them. Like I just don't think that that's proper, especially for somebody especially for a queer person. You understand what I'm saying? Especially for a queer person who's trying to figure out what route to take and where to go and how to move and how to navigate through society. You're basically re-hijacking their life again with more trauma. So that's the importance of the elders, like true elders, because healing has to take place. You're supposed to be there to show what life can be like, what a normal life can be like outside of people who are supposed to be there for me that are not. I've chosen you to be that person to show me something different than what I was getting from people who were supposed to show me what I was supposed to be getting. And sometimes we become predators. And I think we gotta deal with that first before people can be healed. We gotta get the elders healed so they're not out here, preying on the young people.
Thank you, Kalani. I'm going to put Smack done disappeared on me. All right. So let's go to Tim.
Could I have the question one more time?
Sure. How can chosen family function as a form of healing from generational and familiar trauma?
By not exposing them to more trauma. I had somebody that I looked up to, and they were my gay parent, but they always had a sexual attraction for me. And I didn't see them in that way. And the passes and stuff went on for like years until I finally stopped being nice about it. And I told them how disrespectful that I thought it was, with the relationship that we've had, and the things that we've been through, and how many times I've told you that I don't see you that way, for you still to be trying to put yourself on me after all these years is disrespectful. And I laid them out. And it's amazing how you can have a beautiful relationship with somebody when they're getting what they want from you. But the second that you close that door and they realize that they're never going to get that thing that they wanted from you, that's when you actually find out who the people that you've been around actually are. And this person turned around because I rejected them and destroyed my reputation, contributed to destroying my reputation in a state, in the state of Delaware. Fuck it. I'm just going to say it. Protecting, and this person had a thing for young kids. They always kept young kids around them. They always kept large houses, and they were always renting rooms out to younger kids. And I saw things as a younger person. I saw things as a grown man that I didn't see as a teen when I first met him. The fact that he always had groups and groups of young kids around him. And that's what he liked to handle, and that's what he liked to date. So yeah, I think that is definitely pertinent for elders in our community to protect the young. I mean, I've said this on multiple podcasts that we've done. Almost every podcast that we've done, somewhere in there, I've talked about how people take advantage of kids when they're pushed into the lifestyle. I've said it multiple times. So yes, I think that elders are definitely they're a factor that determines how soon our community heals from the things that it's going through. Because there's still a lot of hurt and division in the LGBTQIA community, and the current climate is just making it much, much worse. That's my answer.
Thank you, Tim. Not all of us had those experiences. Wow, this is crazy. This is crazy to hear about these elders just taking advantage of the children. It just goes back to the subject when we talked about maps and the forms that they come in. So
Mhm.
all of it is connecting, right? So
Mhm.
whoever's watching in Black, you need to watch them all, because once you look at all of them, you could piece together our world and get we giving some great feedback to people, perspectives, things for them to learn, take, and hopefully digest and become better people. But Stan, do you want to take a crack at this question?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean,
Come on, Sam.
well, I mean, anybody that can help you deal with trauma, is always important. Um, but I think kind of I guess the question kind of got a little different because they started talking about how how elders would take advantage of the younger people. Um, when actually, when you talk about family trauma and how a chosen family can help you deal with that. That's what they should be doing is to be there, to help you escape some of the trauma that you go through, but not to accept the trauma. And then again, you definitely got people that take advantage of that. You know, they people that prey on weak people. People that prey on you know homeless people. You know, um, so my thing is, yeah, they're very important to help you deal with trauma, and but I really don't really know how to answer that, but but the basic answer is they're very important to you to help you if you come from a family that you're dealing with a lot of trauma, you know, um, but not to take advantage of you, but but that happens. So you know, that's the best way I can answer that.
Thank you, Stan. I'm going to put Dre up in the hot seat.
Let me sit up.
Um, Kehlani actually took my answer. Um, I do feel that we can't heal until we walk into the true meaning that somebody's in our lives. Let's stop coming into people's lives with selfish ambitions and personal gain, and understand the reason why this person was sent to you, and then help them become the best person that they can become. I say that because we have to understand that I feel like these younger LGBTQ members of this community need the guidance. They need the push. They need the love. They don't have it at home. And your mistake for seeing them as an object can cost them their life. So we have to understand the importance of it so that their blood is not on our hands. That's my answer.
Thank you, Dre. Donna, hot seat up.
Yeah, can you run that question because I was having technical difficulties with my list.
Sure. How can chosen family function as a form of healing from generational or familiar trauma?
How can a chosen family help you with the trauma from your blood
From
relatives?
yep, generational or familiar trauma, family trauma. Yes.
Well, I think most of the time with that, if you have trauma, I think I don't know about an elder, but I know a therapist will likely be your best bet. I wish I was a millionaire because I would definitely open up a whole bunch of housing for the young youth, the LGBT young youth, so they can get the proper therapy for their trauma, for the proper health care, proper everything, education, without having to worry about the outside world that don't care about them. But as far as the elders, like I said, I'm an elder, and I would, if I don't know anybody, I don't have family that are LGBT. I don't have any, like younger chosen family that are in the life. So I really, if I did, I would definitely, because I've been through a lot when I was growing up and coming up, almost beaten up, robbed, called names, just a lot of stuff. So I would love to be there for somebody that needs my help. But unfortunately, I don't know anybody like that. But if anybody comes my way, even if I could find a youth that needs a place to stay, I have 2 extra bedrooms. I would definitely give them my bedrooms to stay and guide them the right way. Definitely help them. But
Thank
it's
you,
be
Donna.
therapy. Therapy is like the number one, like, really to help them. Elders, they probably can give them, but elders, I mean, they've been through trauma too. So, but I think they need some therapy, some help like that.
Thank you, Donna. Vonda, you're in the hot seat.
Well. Y'all seeing me go through one of my moments of going from hot to cold. I'm freezing. Feel like I'm at the North Pole. But you know, chosen family, I feel, helps us rewrite the story. And when I say rewrite the story, I mean we've been through a whole lot of trauma, and I just think about the trauma I had at such a young age, and how Bonnie and Tracy, sort of like what Donna just explained, she's got an extra bedroom for, a teenager who may be going through something. Bonnie and Tracy opened up their home for me during a time where, I came out and it wasn't accepted at the time. And I had nowhere to go. And that chosen family opened up their doors to me, gave me a bedroom with a bed in it, let me know the rules of their house. But not only that, counsel me. Not once did they talk bad on the situation that happened, but they helped me heal, start trying to heal from what I just went through. Even offered, maybe, if they felt as though I wasn't getting it, if you feel as though what we're telling you, maybe you could go to a counselor or something, talk to somebody who don't know you. But that chosen family just helps you rewrite the story. They help celebrate you at a time when you need to be celebrated because you're free and you living in your truth. And that kind of love from your chosen family, intentional love, it really helps heal things, to be honest. It makes you feel better. I feel bad that, hearing some of the stories of what some of our panelists thought were chosen family, but they weren't. And the things that they did to them, all they did was just cause more trauma. Everybody's story is different. But for me, I'll never forget when I said, yo, I'm gone. Didn't know where I was going, but I had those friends that I could talk to. I had those friends who were already, my chosen family, and they opened up their home to me and taught me how to save, helped me get my first place on my own. And that's love. And helped me stand on principles, and and try to help me set boundaries. I couldn't be as strong as Bonnie was, man. She ain't play no games out in these streets. I wasn't as strong as her. You know what I'm saying? But I know where I needed to get to because she showed me. And I'm there today. Trust me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vonda. Maxine, you're in the hot seat.
Okay, so the trauma with them is that they're never gonna get rid of it. You can, like Donna said, they can speak to a counselor and all that, but it's gonna take more than a counselor to stop that trauma. Like that trauma gonna be with them for years. So now they have to look into themselves and figure out they didn't do nothing wrong. It's not what they did. It's the people that's older that's not responsible, respectful to these people. You understand? Um, I think besides the counseling, you got to really seek God. Go to the Bible and read hard down and figure out where your life is going. Because, like I said again, I'm a person from that trauma, and I'm 57 now, and I still have that trauma no matter who I talk to. So just talking is not going to get rid of it. You can probably forget it in the back of your head and forget everything that happened to you when you get older. But by us having this conversation now, it's triggering back all the memories I had. You understand? So as us stepping up for the younger kids right now, I think it should be a hotline. The same way they got the gay and lesbian hotline, there should be a hotline where if they having problems and issues, you can call 24/7, reach out to somebody and let that person have your hand and walk you through whatever you need to go through. It's like I said, as far as it's not gonna be there, it's gonna be there. But whenever you need to talk about it, let somebody be there to hold your hand and walk you through it and talk to you. So that's all I really got to say about it. I mean, it's never going to disappear. And I don't want to tell people it is going to disappear. I just want to tell you to be help out there to help you get over it.
Thank you, Maxine. All right, that question wasn't all that bad, right, y'all? Wasn't all that bad. So I guess I gotta answer it. How can chosen family function as a form of healing from generational or familiar trauma? I think, for me, I think chosen family, in my case with my uncle Calvin, it helped to affirm who I was, and it helped me to realize who I wasn't. In my community, we had this masculine centered woman, and this name is so crazy. I don't know why she called herself Betty Boop, because she was very masculine. And during our talks, he would say to me, "Well, not all of them, not all the girly girls, look like that. You don't have to be that. You can be you and not be that way." And I used to just sit and, again, when you think back on things when you're young, and I'm like, what is he talking about? But then when I think about it today, you know, very affirming, very affirming. He always let me know that I was fabulous and I was great and it was okay to be me. And I was good with that. So when I finally did come out, I didn't have all the insecurities other people had. I just knew that I needed to be able to finance my life. And now, based off of Uncle Calvin. So that's what I think. That's my answer to the question. So we're going to jump into in business. And for the most part, you guys have already told me why we should support each other in business. Y'all done breeze through that. So I'm just going to jump to the second question because we didn't quite get there, and I'm just interested to see what you all are going to say. And I know Stan is going to have a mouthful with this. What does circulating money within the queer Black community look like, and what are the advantages? And I want Stan to come up because Stan is the man, the businessman.
Um, what does the money look like circulating? It looks good. Uh, I mean, let me get my camera right. It's in the community, and it could be better if we did that. You know, but like I said, it goes back to support. And we talked about, like because when we talk about people's business, sometimes we do come with our A game. We are, and we do. We have people that always, no matter what, and we were talking about business. My uncle, when I told you about he had the landscape business. Well, he had in his shop, he would purposely get the newspaper. So for Frank's Nursery and Crafts and Michael's and all that, he would see what the prices of their merchandise was, and he would always mark his like for $4 or $5 lower. And still, people would come in. Black people would come in and still sit back and say his prices were too high, and he'll show them the paper. So I'm selling the same poinsettias $2 less than Michael's. People still wanted him to sit back and go lower. But instead of buying it, they would just go to Michael's. They'd rather see him go out of business than to help his business. You always can go into a restaurant and it's always a Black person always going to send their food back. They and want refunds, but they won't go into a white establishment and do that. But we do it to ourselves. So we can always be on our A game. It's just that people are going to always try us. They're going to always try us, and they're always going to, because people, it's just that mentality that we have that we're going to sit back and do that to each other. And like I go back and say it again, look at every Asian store, black Arab store in your neighborhood. It was a black store there before they were there. There's a reason why the black stores aren't there no more. You know, there's a reason why. So we don't support our community, and it's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of reasons. It's envy. You know, some people sit back and they purposely are angry because you put in the work that they're not willing to do. You know, people hate that. People really do. You know, I bust my ass. I made a little post because people don't never see what I do. I spent all Sunday morning filling orders. You know, but people don't want to see that because people want to see you complain. People, you know, that's one thing they love hearing you. I can post something and get more likes if I say something negative than about anything positive. You know, because people want to hear the negative. They want to hear, you know, how bad things are. And like I said, in community, the black community, if they pulled all their dollars together, and I'm gonna tell you something back in the 70s, watching this when I was growing up, you know, the Nation of Islam, the Muslims, you know, were based in Chicago. They had a whole area of Chicago on the south side. They had their own bank. They had their own grocery stores. They had their own restaurants. They had their own clothing stores. The farm, they had the grocery stores. They got the farms from the farms down from Atlanta. They would get all their produce. All came from farms. They didn't depend on white people for nothing. They didn't, and they were self-sufficient. And that was to the point even when I went shopping, I was shopped with them because it was, you know, you felt welcome, you felt proud. You know, right now we had these attitudes with we fucked up, you know, in a lot of ways. You know, I remember when I first came to Atlanta, and this was back. I was working with some music group, and we were supposed to be going out to this place in Norcross. And so as soon as we got to Atlanta, and you know, I really didn't like Atlanta. There was too many black people. I mean, everywhere I looked in, black people every damn where. But they ran everything, and that was what I was so proud about being in Atlanta. I was like, you see all this black. So anyway, the guy that met us, he said, you know, you guys are going to change your motel. You're not going to be going to Norcross. They're going to put you in a hotel closer to the venue. And my first question was, is it a black-owned hotel? And he said, yeah, it's a black-owned. And the first thing, the guys with me were like, oh, shit, crackheads, we're going to be around all this shit. He's like, everybody's complaining. And when we drove there, we got there, it was like one of the most beautiful hotels. And it was black-owned. And I don't know if y'all have seen that movie with Kevin Hart, Fight Night. It was about the story in Atlanta at the time. It showed the growth of Atlanta. But the guy that actually built Atlanta, Herman Russell, was a black man that when you see that Atlanta skyline, that's all him. And my thing is, when I got to Atlanta, I just seen so much black success. And then, you know, when I told the hotel manager, I was like, you know, I was really surprised when they told me it was a black hotel. And the first thing he said was, why would you even think that? Why would you think because it's a black hotel, it's got to be less? So we go and approach our black businesses with less in our mentality, you know. And granted, some black businesses, you know, ain't worth nothing. They have bad attitudes, but you're gonna have businesses like that. They have the attitude, but when you come with your A game, you know, you still got some people gonna sit back and gonna hate on you. You know, like I said, I don't depend on community for anything. I used to market my stuff toward the community, you know, and it was, you know, it just didn't work. They didn't support it. They, you know, certain things, it just wasn't happening. So, but you know what happens is when they see other people patronize my business And that's when they start trying to pay, come and jump on board because they see other people do it. Um, some of my biggest customers are white. Really. They're white and Asian. I got Asians that love this stuff. So I'm just saying, I don't hate on the community. I'm always going to support it. But as far as trying to market and deal with it, I just can't. I'm not going to. And I think Smack said it earlier. You got to find your customer. You got to find, and that's what I did. I didn't sit around whining and shit about it. It's like, okay, and like I would tell people, my shit ain't for you. Because, and then when you get people, I remember this girl begged me to use some shit one time. And soon as I gave her free shit, and she sat back and went on Facebook and blasted my shit like, oh, this shit is horrible, it's this and that, all that kind of shit. And yet I have never had one person complain. But she got my stuff just to get on there and blast me as a black business. I swear to God, I couldn't believe it. And just got up and talked all that shit, But and yet it wasn't that it was bad on her. She was determined that I'm gonna fuck him up, So that this shit that happens, man. I mean, it really happens. So you just got to be resilient to what you do. And don't let people discourage what you do. And like I said, with the community, because like I say, even in the community, it was trans women, and it helped me put this company together. That's how it all started, and it started with it was two trans girls, and we created it, and ran with it, And then the first person that helped me was a guy that runs a trans organization, and he invited me to vend at one of his events for free, and we did so well that time that people started kind of hating on it. They hated, and even the trans girls hate to see the other girls that were working with me succeed. It was just a built-in hate for it, and they hated to see they hate to see their own succeed. So they don't, when I tell people, talking community is good. We're good when it's tragic. When tragedy hits, we all good. We're there for it. We like to talk about it, but when we talk about success, we don't talk about that at all. We don't never talk about success. So, but like I said, it's what you're gonna have people, hating on you, hate what you do. The biggest customers I got. Matter of fact, I got the biggest customers I got out of Honolulu. Out of Hawaii, that order stuff with me. But like I said, and even I'll tell you what. And it's the trans community in Hawaii that support me. Here in Atlanta, it won't never happen. Never. I don't even, it just doesn't. And that's just how we are. But we can't sit back and complain about all these Africans and all these Asians, and they cutting all these business. You know why? Because they support themselves. They support each other. You go into an African restaurant, it's all Africans in there. You go into an Asian restaurant, they support each other. The Jews support each other. We're Mexicans do it. People talk about Mexicans taking over all these neighborhoods. Yeah, they buying up shit in the neighborhood. And then you complain that they buying up the neighborhood you're in. We don't think that way because we don't try to help each other like that. And if we stuck together as a community, man, I'm telling you, that dollar would be so. You talking about how good it looks circulating? Shit, it'd be looking good circulating in each of our hands. And then we can employ people. We can employ other people. But we, like we got the discount mall here, and one thing we want to do is we don't buy designer, we buy the fake designer. And what get me is how you wear Gucci hat, Gucci shirt, Gucci pants, Gucci, just Gucci all the way down, you know. But that's our mentality is, we don't support it. But I ain't bashing nothing. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm still supporting it. I will never turn anything down. But matter of fact, Peirrce, I came to Wilmington a couple times,
My
and
event.
yeah, and you guys showed so much love. I mean, it was great. We had a great time with it. So, uh, yeah, and I love Wilmington. I had a good time. I want to. Really downtown Wilmington would be an excellent place to open up a business. You know, the time we were there and just just seeing it and the prices at that time. I don't know what it's like now, but we if we support each other, it'll be great. But it's a piece of work. I'll never give up.
Yep. Thank you, Stan. That's a great perspective.
You
Yeah, Stan always come with it. I had to laugh when he said we was fucked up.
know.
It's like, okay, that's very blunt. All right, so Kalani, you are on mute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? It's like,
Yes, we can.
we're still we're still on circulating money, right?
What does circulating money within the queer black community look like? What are the advantages?
Okay. I think I've been a little hard on the businesses tonight, so I'm gonna bring it in. I'm be nice. No, I think the circulating money, what it would do for our community, when it's done right and the money is circulated properly, I think that it will begin to start funding some of the things that we go seeking finances for. I think it'll fund some of those initiatives, some of those services that we can't get from the other people, if you know what I mean. We'll start being able to fund things for ourselves and not have to look outside of ourselves for those resources. So I think that's what it looks like. That would be the advantage of it, that we can not have to go, and I don't want to say beg because that's not the right word, but go asking for someone else to do for what we can do for ourselves. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. I'm about to put Vonda in a hot seat.
Yo, man, I think about a black gay Wall Street, okay? Black gay Wall Street. If I was rich, I'd go buy me strip malls in every major city where there are a lot of black gay people, and you be able to come up in here with your black business ready for a storefront. Everybody gonna come. That's what it looks like. We have to start hiring our people who got these gifts. There are a lot of black gay therapists out here, may not be in your location, but they in some locations. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of black designers that got some great ish. You hear me? I'll put you in a whole strip mall and call it Black Gay Wall Street. All right? But the proceeds of your money have to go back into the community. The black gay community. That's what it looks like. Hiring people that look like us from our community. Feel what I'm saying? If you know how to market, okay, market.
If that's what you went to school for and you're black and queer, get your money. Show them what you can do. Be authentic. Don't come like, yo, man, this ain't, this ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, hey, da 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 da, this is what I do. Schedule one-on-ones. People don't do that no more. Schedule a one-on-one. Let's talk. Let me introduce you to who I am. That's what it starts. That's where it starts. We got to start hiring each other. And then we need to promote these black gay businesses with no hesitation. Keep it real. But the businesses have to be ready because presentation is everything. You have to be ready. Y'all, my girl, I used to be like, why she got all this, this ish just to sell some clothes? Why do we need to have these diamonds in the wall? Because you know what? It's all about presentation. Why is she dressing up this whole building? It don't even look like the building that's online, the event hall. Why? Because it's about presentation. You're giving them an experience that they cannot get anywhere else. As Kalani said, excellence. I can't come and buy your stuff if you're not presenting it right. So what do? We go into our black queer community and we find that person to help that business get it together so they can get ready for Black Gay Wall Street. Bang, bang.
Donna, you're in the hot seat. Yeah, I agree with Smack. Like, yeah, it used to be a Black Wall Street, and it should be a gay Black Wall Street. We should like come together and put our money together, and also, like I said, we need to help these youth. If we can put our money together and get that money going, and we could build communities, we could build our own hospitals, we could build our own schools, we could build our own um grocery stores, laundromats, just make our own little community. But you know how that is with the Black Wall Street. What happened with the Black Wall Street? They the other people didn't like that, and what happened? It burned all down. But we gotta also have our own.
And Donna disappeared. So we're gonna get Tim Boy.
Could you repeat the question? Could you repeat the question for me again?
Sure. What does circulating money within the queer black community look like? What are the advantages?
The advantages are growth of growth of resources. You know, growth of businesses, increased jobs. Those are the things that's what money circulating in the Black LGBT community would look like.
Thank you, Tim. Let's get Maxine in.
So we talking about like creating businesses and bringing them into work, but I think it starts more with the youth in school. Like they're going to school and they're dealing with people that's bashing them and having problems in school. So first thing we should do is have a school where it's made just for the gay community, where they don't have to go to school and be bothered with other people. Then on top of that, instead of in school us teaching them about Martin Luther King and stuff that happened in the past, let's teach them how to build their own businesses. Teach them how to start their own companies. Let's teach them how to become independent in life where they make it. I don't want to be in school and you're telling me something that happened 200 years ago and it ain't got nothing to do with us now. You understand? So I believe school starts and then they own companies, like they own clothing line, stores, you name it. I feel we should start the youth on learning a lot of positive stuff to get them out there.
Thank you, Maxine. Y'all all said everything that I wanted to say. I could see the money circulating. This, like Vonda said, strip malls. I see resources. I see investments. I see hospitals. Um, and for the ghetto fabulous ones in the community, if you can't see the bigger picture with what we just said, I'm just going to say this: with the money circulating in our community, you could be, what Biggie say, Gucci down to your socks, rings, and watches. You can have that BMW. I can see it now. Hell, one of y'all might have a blinged out spaceship, but in order for that to happen, we got to circulate amongst each other. But I can see it all. And I really want that for us. So we got two more questions. We're gonna try to get up out of here and wrap it up by 11. But this one is a real important one, and I think it might be a reflective question once you get off this live stream. What are the risks of relying solely on external support systems that may not understand the intersectionality of being black and queer? What are the risks? What are the risks, philosopher? Did y'all hear
Oh
me?
man, did
Yeah.
you pick? I'm a Nazi. Am I in the hot seat?
Yes, you're in the hot
Oh,
seat
I
looking
didn't. I
at
didn't
us.
hear my name. I didn't hear my name. I'm sitting here waiting for a name. Okay. I'm sorry. Could you give me the question one more again?
Okay. What are the risks of relying solely on external support systems that may not understand the intersectionality of being black and queer?
Um, One, they may not be able to help you accurately because they may not actually have the knowledge, or they may not have the knowledge that they need to help you. Also, there's a risk in relying on anything too much, because you get reliant, you get dependent on it. And when you are in a situation where you have to find a solution or you have to make a way, you may not be equipped to do that on your own because you've always relied on these external sources for everything you needed. It's kind of like parents that want their kids to have a better life than them, so they give them all these things and they leave out the struggle. And then when these kids get on their own, they don't know how to take care of themselves. It's kind of like the same pretense. So that's my answer.
Thank you, Tim. Stan.
Well, number one, um, relying on anything, um, and that's one of the things I don't. I learned a long time ago, because they can pull the rug from under you in a heartbeat. So my thing is, um, if I'm dependent on somebody, I'm not going to depend on them for a long time. I'm going to take advantage of getting myself into a situation. Um, and I've done that. I learned when I had just working. I remember when I was teaching school, and I had a principal. He couldn't stand me. Um, People like to control you. I had got a house, a car, and I'll never forget when he said to me, we were talking about summer school, and some he was.
Well, I hope Stan is all right. Look like somebody came and smacked his phone down, and I don't know. So I'm gonna put Vata in the hot seat.
Well, um, hmm. Repeat the question one more time. I'm sorry.
What are the risks of relying solely on external support systems that may not understand the intersectionality of being black and queer?
Well, if they don't understand our intersectionality, they they really can't see our needs. So if you don't know who I am as a person and who I represent and what I represent, how can you fully see my needs? Or worse, they may try to make me fit into their mold that erases who I am. And I'm not going to do that. But there are, and I've seen it, some black queer folk that forget who they are and they change and they're molding to what um this external support that's either funding them or helping them to what they think it should be. And then when you ain't marketable no more, they let you go. That's even like for artists. They're gonna go to who give them the most money, but when that money run out and you didn't use it right, and you're no longer marketable because you can't put out nothing good, they forgetting who you are as a person, and because they can't market you and mold you into who they want you to be, they get rid of you. So those outside resources, how I look at it, are people who ain't me. They don't understand my culture. They're looking for to invest in something that's going to probably bring them more money than it's going to bring me. But you're not taking my intersectionality or understanding the intersectionality of being black and queer and adding that into the formula. You creating your own formula and trying to mold me and make me become a token. And that ain't going down. But unfortunately, a lot of black queer folks are tokens. And I'm done.
Thank you, Vonda. Maxine, you want to chime in? Are you still there?
No, I'm right here. Can you say the question again? I'm sorry.
Sure. Um, what are the risks of relying solely on external support systems that may not understand the intersectionality of being black and queer?
When you can't just rely on one thing at all because that might fail. So you have to take the time of opening up doors to different options. You don't want to sit there and just think like, well, this is gonna work and we're gonna get here, here, here. It's never gonna work that way. So I'm sorry to make it short. Actually, I'm in the middle of cooking for the kids or something. But you can't rely on just one thing. You gotta have different things and options.
Thank you, Maxine. Stan, did you want to get back up here and finish saying what you were saying?
Was that just that I was in a situation like that when you depend on, and um, when people sit back and they tell you, well, I know you need this job because you just bought this, you just did that. It put a fear in me because somebody was controlling me. I felt like, damn, you know what? All he got to do is use a pen and he can wipe me out totally. And knew I needed things, but that's when I started realizing, you know what? I can't depend on people, and especially like I said, when you're relying on support from other like organizations that don't totally understand you. You know, it's good to get the support, but the thing is take advantage of that situation and then do it. Whereas you won't, because once the money stops, then you're not in that situation. So in other words, so while you're getting the money,
take the money and then do something with the money so you ain't got to depend on that. Don't take 90% of it and go shopping, and buy cars and shit. And then when it's gone, you out there. So I learned that I got scared when I realized I had all this shit I had and that this one person had control over me, that he could wipe me out. And at that point, I just started like I'll never depend on, nothing that if it ended that, I'm out there. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, so that's the bad part of relying. Take advantage of it, but get self sufficient as fast as you can.
Thank you, Stan. Vonda, did you want to say something? You look like you want to jump in something. Oh, okay. So, I agree with everything everybody said, and you all took the answers that I would have. But my fear is just like Stan's, relatable to Stan. I don't want anybody to have that kind of control over me. I don't want anyone to redirect my mission, my goals. I want to always come out with my businesses authentically me. I want my missions to be met. I want to reach my target market. And I think when you solely depend on one person, Stan said it best. They will pull a rug right out from underneath you, especially if they cannot do the things that they want. And I totally agree with all of you. So the last question, really quick, and then we're going to all go up onto the screen and ask our questions. How could we what are some practical ways, like advice we're giving black queer individuals can support each other in business? What advice would you give them? What are some practical ways we can support each other? um I think Vonda, I'll put you in the hot seat first.
Um, I think one is like referral networks. I truly believe in it. Referral create referral networks like black gay businesses, create a directory and say what they offer, put their website so that people can go and see what they have and start circulating that. One thing that a lot of people don't do is, stop being gatekeepers, but show like grant opportunities, offer mentorship, collaborate. We need to do more collaboration. I really, instead of trying to compete against each other, I never understood that. Hey, if you got 30 gay people selling t-shirts, why don't y'all have a daggone t-shirt war? Bring everybody into a building. Whoever sell the most t-shirts walk away with the trophy. At the end of the day, everybody making money. I'm just saying, collaborate. Um, and shout each other out on social media. I mean, everybody's on social media. Shout it out. If you know somebody gay having a pop up, for their clothing line or for their business, show up to it. Tell your friends about it. Don't go check it out and then tell them to go check out their business online. Bring them with you. Like, we all need to start working together more. Somebody got an event, and I'm going to put my plug in. Me Fest is coming up August 24th. I've been sharing it like crazy, not just on social media, but putting it in people's inbox that I feel support me. And hopefully they come through. But everybody should be doing that. I'm just keeping it real. Get in there, support each other like we're supposed to support each other. Be an example. I see so many times people say, I'm not sharing nobody else's stuff if they don't share mine. Yo, you got to be the bigger person. Mess up their algorithms. Tag them every time, even if they don't share your stuff. Because guess what? Somebody coming on their page mess up the algorithms. You have to learn about algorithms on social media. I don't worry about it anymore. I'll post all day long on people's pages. I don't care if you support me or not. Somebody coming to your page gonna see it, and that's why I open my page up. Nothing has to get approved by me anymore because when I get to sharing, all them people I let come up on my page and messing up my algorithm, I'm about to come to your algorithm and do the same thing. Peace.
Thank you, Smack. Tim.
Can I get the question one more time, dear heart?
Sure. What are some practical ways Black queer individuals can support each other in business?
I have to agree with Vonda and Stan. Um, the actual people who are having the events actually need to start supporting each other's events more, to draw more to everybody's event. You know, when I was out here promoting shows and events, that's a large problem that I ran into repetitively over and over again. People want you to advertise for them. They want you to come to their event, but they don't want to do the same thing for you. But why would I go to that? That's not something I'm interested in. Part of business is attending things that you may not be interested in. That may not be your particular cup of tea, but you're supporting somebody else's business, and at the same time, you're plugging your own business and finding potential customers. So I definitely think a large part of it is black businesses supporting black businesses.
Thank you, Tim. All right, Maxine.
So, as she was just saying, social media, you got a company, we all get together and we post each and every one company on our page. We share it. We share it through thousands and thousands of people. This way, if you're my friend and I know you're in the community, I want to make sure you get big. And if I got 2,000, 3,000 followers, I'm going to put your stuff on my social media to make sure you grow. It's all about sharing and helping each other. So in the black community, the only way for us to get bigger is to support us. You gotta support gay people because ain't nobody else gonna support us. They look at us down already. So now we need to get together and help each other out. My Facebook is Maxine Chapman. He owns his own company, and I have no problem with putting your stuff through my Facebook page because I have followers that's already following the company that I have, which I'm not even doing it right now. But I can definitely put your stuff through my page.
Thank you, Maxine. Tim, did you wanted to say something before I put Stan on?
This topic is, well, this portion of the topic is the reason actually why I developed Mid Atlantic Gay Events, because it was after the pandemic and businesses were struggling to try to get their clientele back, and a lot of businesses were closing. So I kind of developed Mid Atlantic Gay Events to plug people's businesses in. And, you know, it gave me a chance to support businesses, put resources out there for people, um, and give people arts and entertainment all in the same shot. You know what I'm saying? So it Mid Atlantic was not just developed as a tool of expression, but it also was developed to pull people back into our businesses and our clubs and our shows and our festivals, so that we could start to regain our footing, uh, in the economy. So I agree with y'all 100% as far as like if I see anything for IME, If I see anything that anybody that I know, or anything that is of our community, or anything that is of the minority LGBT community, I slide it in there. It's, if I can just get three people to that business that weren't there before, I made a difference. You know what I'm saying? If I can just get two people this information on where to go uh, for health information, or when they have something going wrong with them and they need to go to a doctor or a clinic. So I firmly agree that yes, pooling information and supporting information and sharing information and giving people a hub to come and just look through information is key. It's ideal.
Thank you, Tim. Stan.
I agree with everything everybody's saying. Matter of fact, I share a lot on social media. If I see a gay or trans owned business, I always share it. Um, and then once people see you share it, then they start sharing your things as well. But yeah, we sometimes we have to think sometimes, and it's not easy. But if you ever in a market looking for something, say in your mind, let me research and see if there's a gay business that does this. We have to kind of have that kind of mentality, or a minority gay business. You know, um, we start thinking that way. That'll strengthen, and then you're not relying. If you want, then you can. Once the community starts relying on itself, the strength of it, and then just like everybody was saying, just network. You know, the I am me. That's very important. There's good networking there. You know, um, so and the thing is, everybody coming there is not going to all be queer. So you're gonna be reaching other people as well. So yeah, just network and share. And, you know,
Thank you, Stan. Oh man, all of y'all said just about everything I was going to say, but I will bring something new to the table that you guys probably didn't think of or you probably forgot about. I think one of the things that black queer people need to stop doing that's harming our businesses. If you have a bad experience, do not take to the internet and destroy those businesses, because it may not be your cup of tea, but it may be someone else's. And it's very destructive, it's very harmful, and it doesn't help our cause. I also agree with y'all because with the whole support thing. Tim, Vonda said it, Stan said it. When I began my journey, I used to call myself the number one supporter. Before I had some of these health issues and things going on in my personal life, I used to get up and attend a whole lot of LGBTQ plus events to be present, not necessarily to market my business, but to be in the room and be around my people and meet those business owners to see how, we can network, or just, just showing my face. Social media obviously is a big thing. I like what Vonda said about tagging, but one of the things that I do, I love a personal approach to it. I will create a little message, and I believe in inboxing people saying, "Hey, how you doing? This is what I'm doing." Introducing myself, introducing my brand, introducing my business. And like with this live stream, share it. If you don't like what we're saying here tonight, well, it's not for you, but somebody that needs this information. And I think we don't do that enough. And some of the old but goodies, word of mouth, tell a friend. Same way you talk about what is it, South Park and all these little drama shows, and what is it, all the Queens men. talk about in black, talk about what we're doing here, talk about all of those things. There's so many ways you can help. Anytime you are bringing awareness to a black LGBTQ plus business, you are helping, but it has to be positive. And do the numbers. Don't just tell 5. Sometimes it takes for you to tell 20 for us to get the one person. So that is my advice. So I'm going to put the panel on the screen. Does anybody have any questions? We done been here for a minute, and it's time for us to pack it up. But I think we done helped some people. Nobody
Peirce, you
has
go?
questions tonight.
No, not tonight.
Everybody's tired. All right, I did
I
my
done said
job.
everything I had to say, like real talk. Like this was a great panel. I said everything I had to say, and I stand on business.
Okay.
Gay Black Wall Street is coming, and you can try to come and burn it down. I mean, they already told you how fearless and resilient we are. You could try, man. You could try. We not doomed. We not. No, it ain't gonna go down like it did back in the day. Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you, y'all know it's a whole new decade. Yeah, Black Gay Wall Street coming. Gay Black Wall Street, however you want to put it, it's coming.
All
Stay
right.
tuned.
So nobody has any questions. So I'm assuming that it's time to pack it up until next week. Thank you to all the people that tuned in to In Black. We hope that you learned something tonight. And each and every night that you actually watch us. And tune in to us next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Hopefully we don't go into extra innings like we did tonight. Um, any last words, any takeaways you want to leave the crowd with before I hit our commercial outro? No advice.
I just want to I just want to say thank you on behalf of me and the crew. We appreciate all of y'all that have been uh, interested in seeing what we put together every week. I hope that y'all continue to tune in every week to see what new adventures that we are going to go on, what new stories that Stan is going to lay down for us.
I've been around a
And
long time, man. I
right,
got
the last thing I want to say is y'all people are giving me like a new type of like insight and joy and on how I look at our lifestyle. And I appreciate y'all because at this point in my life, I really needed to be reassured that it's still beautiful things about this lifestyle. Because I was
You're welcome.
actually, yeah, I was actually, Vonda actually seen the post on my page. I was really at one point questioning my sexuality and whether or not actually was meant to be a part of this community. And Vonda had seen the post, and I was like, she was like, "Well, how'd you do that? So so you don't you're not gay no more?" I said, "I didn't say that. I just said I just think that I'm having a difficult time because this is not meant for me. So." To come full circle and just to be a part of something like this, I'm grateful and I'm very happy.
That's all it is.
Yeah, we are glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Yep. With that being said, everybody have a good night. And remember, if you didn't learn anything tonight, take away this: support black queer businesses. Let's circulate the wealth.
All right.
We love
Circulated.
y'all. Have a good
Have
night.
have a good night, everyone.
See you later.
Be blessed.
Bye.